Blessings and welcome. I am Tuesday May Thomas, and this is your weekly tarot energy forecast for March 29th through April 5th of 2018. Thank you so much, all of my new subscribers. I'm so very grateful for your time and your attention. And thank you everyone who shows up on Thursday mornings for my live stream, 4D Trinity, every Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard. I go live here at my YouTube channel. You're welcome to hop on, join the conversation in the comment box. It's really, really interesting. We get into metaphysics and spirituality, where basically we're understanding how to own our authentic selves, be a master of our time and space, and bridge that down into earth so we can transform our earthly experience into a beautiful, divine set of circumstances that we love to live. Now, I will be going over crystal energy this Thursday, so please do check it out. I did replace the Harmony card. Remember, I promised, and this is what it looks like, my friends. The Harmony card of the Osho Zen Tarot. Oh, to quench our thirst. We have been waiting, I know, for so very long, and I'm so very grateful that you've all been so very patient with me. I'm going to put this in the deck, and we're going to go ahead and get started. And I want to mention, as I mentioned on last week's tarot reading, I am running a spring special. So if you would like a personalized tarot reading, please contact me. My email contact is down below in the show more description box. Send me an email. I'm doing a special on my 30 and 45 minute tarot readings at this time. I do them over FaceTime, and we connect over a date and a time. You send a payment through PayPal to confirm, and then we give you your reading. And I thank you, everyone who's already contacted me about that. It has been such an honor to serve you. I'm so very grateful for that. So let's go ahead and take a moment to call in our angels and our guides. Take a nice deep breath in and a full exhale. Spring is here. We are now the butterfly. Our wings have spread. We have gone through such transformation, such metamorphosis over these last months. And now we are in a new cycle. We ask our angels, we had some poppers, or at least one. We ask our angels and our guides, our animal spirit totems, all those light beings who love us, to be with us now, to communicate and channel through me the most high messages that serve all of our paths, all of our well-being, for the highest good of all. Okay, so we had a bunch of poppers. We're going to go ahead and grab them and get started. Okay, let's see. We'll put the chunk of the deck to the side. So the first two that fell out was moment to moment and friendliness. Juicy friendliness. Okay, and then of the chunks that fell out, which there are a lot of them. Oh my gosh, look at what one of the cards is that came out. Harmony. See, she's all like, I'm ready. She's all brand new, spanking new. Okay, so interesting. We do have some very interesting information here, because at the top row, as I said, we have our moment to moment and our friendliness. And then we have sorrow, slowing down, the creator, new vision, stress, isolation, ordinariness, turning in, and harmony. Okay, so let me just have a look here and see. This is a very interesting chunk of cards to come up, and let's just see what the guidance is with regard to this, because we know we have been changing, we have been elevating, we have been calibrating our higher selves in alignment with the version of us that exists in this 3D reality. We've been connecting in deeper and deeper ways with the truth within us, and allowing ourselves to be free, allowing ourselves to be heard, seeing ourselves, and allowing others to see us. That was the theme last week, right? To see and be seen. to also see those around you for who and what they truly are, to honor that and allow ourselves to be seen for who and what we truly are too, is really one of the biggest gifts we can give ourselves and give to others. And so with this, what I'm getting is there is a deep sense of a massive healing, and we're in this Mercury retrograde period. So this is definitely our time to slow down, right? The pace of the tortoise, very grounding, earthing card. Time to slow everything down. No making big decisions on major life-changing events or circumstances. It is a time to reflect. It is a time to review, to look back. What have you created? What have you changed in your life? How is your life different now moving forward, now that you are the butterfly? Now that you have been through your transformation of your beautiful high order, what is different now? Certainly there are parts of you that will need to die, that will need to complete their cycle and be done so that you can move on. And as you slow down, there is the opportunity for a healing. The Sorrow card is a card of the mind, and here the monk is crying, and he's not crying for anything outside of himself because he knows it's all within him. He knows everything that's happening outside is a reflection of within, but what he's actually doing is he's crying for himself in this picture, in this card. So this is it signifies a period of, what I'm getting with this top row is the sense of mourning, this mourning of who you used to be. And you know what I'm also getting? I'll put a link right here for the energy letter tool. Some of us are going through major completions. And just to point out, our harmony card on the bottom row, a part of it that I very rarely speak about is completions. And since it's on the bottom row here for us, I'm going to talk about this, in terms of, we have clicked. Remember, for weeks and months, we've been talking about all the cycles and all the parts within us, the levels of consciousness within us, and how they interface with the energies around us in the universe, through our circles, our family, our friends, our communities, and how there's been these cycles and things coming in and out of calibration. And that there's a certain point, right, through our karmic structures, through our agreements, our sacred contracts on a consciousness level, that when all things come to a certain alignment, they click into a certain, I want to say, biosphere, and it creates a vortex of energy through which we can jump, through which we can make a move, we can make a change, we can make a conscious shift in our awareness, in the way that we're living life, the way that we're embodying ourselves, the way that we're allowing ourselves to embody our truth. And what I'm getting is that old part of us, that old part of you that has been going in life in a very certain way, is now done. And you are coming to a point this week when you allow yourself to slow down enough, because this is the kind of thing that we're only going to be privy to if we slow down enough to get it, to pay attention to those cycles, to honor them. We may even be shedding a few tears in relation to what has come to pass, what we are leaving behind. Maybe it's a marriage, maybe it's your family, maybe it's school, maybe it's a job, maybe it's just really sitting with the realization of how you've been living and going through life in a certain way, in certain patterns, and realizing like a new level of freedom and sovereignty. And it doesn't have to be bad where you've been or who you've been or what you're leaving. It's just like completion. There is a level of deep completion here now. And it is to be honored. And where there is a part of you that wants to either deeply honor it, or to make amends, or to just simply acknowledge where you've been and who you've been as you go through this next level of becoming who you truly are, the energy letter, metaphysical energy tool, is such a powerful means of further connecting all the dots of who you are becoming. It's bringing down through pen and paper your acknowledgement of where you've been and perhaps where you're going. It's when you let your higher self do the writing for you, and you write In this case, what I'm going to offer is to write a letter to yourself from your higher self. So it's as if you connect with your higher self, you get the paper, the pen out, and you allow your higher self to write you a letter and say, hey, I know what you've been through has been major, or wow, you've really come a long way, you've been working so very hard, be gentle on yourself, I understand you're going through these issues, and here's how you can help yourself. What you're going to see, and what you're going to feel and sense is like this stream of energy coming through you, channeling through you, that knows you, and that has a divine appointment and a series of divine references and medicines and exercises perhaps for you to be aware of or to participate in, so that you can move through this transition into shedding those tears, completing it, and actually writing a letter. An energy letter especially is such a beautiful, powerful way to really consciously have completion with something, to say in a relationship, family, friends, from your higher self, thank you. And I appreciate everything that we've been through, and I love you, and goodbye for this cycle, goodbye for now. So there's so many ways we can use the energy letter tool. Again, you can ask your higher self to write a letter to the version of you that is here now, that is perhaps seeking counsel, guidance, or just open to whatever your higher self has to share with you in that time. You can also write a letter from your higher self to someone else's higher self and tell them things that perhaps you feel you can't say in the third dimension. And it creates a healing on a metaphysical level. Those messages and that information that you share in that letter get energetically sent to the other person's higher self. Or if it's a letter to yourself from your higher self, this 3D version of you, your mind, your body, your emotions, will become calibrated and stimulated on a level of downloading, on a high level, raising your frequency of downloading these divine messages from your higher self. Now here's the trick at the end, when you're done writing your letter, is that you fold it up, you put it in an envelope, and you can write on it if you want, to my higher self, or to Bob's higher self, or just nothing at all. And you don't even have to put any personalized addresses, information, names, or anything on there. In fact, the less the better, because you know who you're writing it to, you know who you're reaching out to. And so in this way, you put the letter in a post box and you let it go. Now you can also burn it, you can throw it away, you can bury it, but in this way, we are giving it away to the higher order, and we're calling in, we're allowing that higher order to do its work, and we release it. That's a big part of completing. And that's, I think, why the sorrow card is coming up, is because there's stuff for us to complete and stuff for us to release. And we are being invited into being able to do that in a graceful way, but also in a masterly way, where we do access our energy tools, such as our energy letter, to help the process. We are processing. Okay, that's what I'm getting. We are processing this week, big time. And what's right next to it is just so beautiful. These are the first two cards that fell out. Friendliness, which is an emotional card, and a card of grounding, which is moment to moment. So remember last week we had this beautiful display of, just these offerings of, like, you are coming into contact with people from your past lives, and you're on a journey wherever you're completing and going to. When you get there, wherever that place is, you're going to be meeting those more people that you know from a past life, or that know you, even if it's unconscious and subconscious. There will be a connection, there will be a way will be made where there will be an acknowledgement of one another. And this card speaks to the absolute acknowledgement of your support. Someone here, there is someone in your life that you can really, really lean on. And if they are not visible to you, who they are now, they are going to be made visible in this next week. They are going to become visible to you. They're going to say, hey, I got your back. You're going through a hard time. I know you're completing all these different levels. You're, healing this part of your life so that you can move forward. And you know what? I got you. I've been there. There's someone that's really going to come forward this week who sees you, who gets you, and also who loves you, who really authentically, unconditionally loves you without without needing anything in return. And you can really sense that and feel that. And that's how you're going to know them, is because it's going to be so unconditional. There's going to be no question about this person's ability to simply see you, be present for you, to listen to you. They don't even have to say a word. They are just there for you. It could be a lover if you're involved in a love affair, but it doesn't necessarily speak to that. It doesn't have to be. It can be someone that you meet out of the blue that you just connect with, and that you're like, oh my gosh, I feel so natural with you. I feel like I can truly be myself with you. It could be someone that you already know, that you're going into a deeper level of friendship cycle with. You know, we all have this in our relationships where we go through cycles of we get to know each other, we find safe space with each other, we begin to share, acknowledge, maybe show a little bit more of our true selves. And over time, perhaps that gets deeper and deeper. And that's what this week is showing. It's showing the more that we are able to complete and express our sorrow and to just feel it and slow down enough to feel our feelings, get grounded enough to let those feelings move through us and be grounded, that's when we are going to be supported. And this divine support, this person that supports us is tapped in spiritually. They are tapped in, whether they are a conscious yogi or a conscious, Reiki master or Tai Chi master or not, even if they just seem like a normal everyday person, but their consciousness and the level of the ability of them to lift you up into the now momentness of yourself is huge. Their ability to remind you, to help you hit your own internal refresh button of what it is to be present in the moment, to truly be grateful right here, right now for what abides. This person is going to help bring this back into your reality, into your domain, and it is going to be such a refresher for you, because it's almost like you've forgotten, and you haven't forgotten. You've just been stressed out, or you've been doing other things. Your focus has been on something else, and now you're completing that, and it's almost like, whoo, like you've been through so much with getting everything in a row. And even just the transformation, the changing, right? The butterfly wings. I know for me, if you watch this past month or two of these tarot readings, we've been talking about this transformation of the caterpillar going through the cocoon and the larva stage and then coming out and being this butterfly. Well, I know for me, my butterfly only started kicking in like a week or two ago, and everyone else's butterflies were already like, woo, like flying through the air, fluttering their wings, shape-shifting their colors and getting all juicy fancy. And I'm sitting there going like, this was me going like, I don't have butterfly wings. I can't feel them. I can't see them. And it was very, very difficult. But I just had to allow and relax and stay in the moment and receive support from my divine community and from those that I love and that love me, and just be with the process. But now what's happening is we are coming out. Those wings are taking us for a flight, whether you're ready or not, whether you think you're ready or not. Your wings are like, okay, we have an inner GPS. Here we go. We're taking you somewhere. And even if it seems like you're not going anywhere, you're exactly where you need to be. If your wings are not calibrating you and kicking you and guiding you to a certain destination, then chances are you are perfectly exactly where you need to be right now, and especially this week. It's so interesting though, because as we go on to the second row, again, we have this isolation, this sense of this sorrow card, this card of the mind. So there's tears, but you know what? Right next to it is the stress card. What areas of life that are stressful to you can you let go of? And it's almost, what I'm getting is, it's almost like that post-traumatic stress disorder, where what you've been through has taken you so far up and so far high and so far like expanded in your anxiety and your stress, but now it's done. Whatever that was is done now. So can you be done with it? Can you cry the tears that you need to cry in order to allow the transformation to continue happening, the healing to continue happening? But can you as well, through those tears, release then, really truly let it go? Whatever it is, whatever it was that was causing you stress. Maybe it was doing your taxes, getting your taxes done, and it's just been a nightmare getting everything together and really causing you stress. And now it's done, or you're on the other side of it. Can you now allow your adrenal glands, allow your biochemistry to come down, to relax, to allow the past to be the past? And that's what happens with us oftentimes, is that when we don't have a proper salute, a proper acknowledgement, and a proper completion and acknowledgement of what has been, that energy can stay with us. And so we still have the fight or flight, we still have the stress, we still have the anxiety. But this reading is saying, like, no, acknowledge where you've been, acknowledge all the work you've done, cry those tears, get them out, but also consciously cut the cord of who you were then. Consciously do a practice, write your energy letter, consciously acknowledge what has been and allow it to be done and complete. Close that door so that you can open the next door. So the next door can be opened for you, in fact, because what is there is this beautiful new vision. So this card comes up every I don't know, like 3 or 4 months, and sometimes it comes up a couple weeks in a row. Major arcana here, and in fact this is the only major arcana in this whole reading, which is very interesting because for weeks now we've had like spreads where there's been 3 to 4 to 5 major arcanas. So this is very interesting. New vision. So this is us picking ourselves up from walking down on hands and feet, from going through different levels of consciousness, unconscious to conscious to superconscious, to then opening ourselves up and aligning with cosmic wisdom, aligning ourselves, opening our hearts and aligning ourselves with that next part of your story. So what's your story? Who's in your story? Who's a part of your story? There's a story that you're living, right? There's a myth, there's an adventurer's quest that you are living or not. And I think this is it, is that we are asked to slow down at the beginning of this week, to complete, right? To allow ourselves to have those emotional relinquishings of those things that had caused us stress in the past. They're done. Complete them. Allow yourself to feel supported. Remember, be reminded to come back to that moment-to-moment awareness, your ability to take a breath and to be present, to practice presence on purpose, right? To practice mindfulness on purpose. I have a mindfulness meditation. I'll put a link here. And it might seem pretty boring because there's guided parts and then you're given an exercise to do and then you're left alone and there's like no sound for a minute or two while you practice that exercise. And it's only about a 10-minute meditation, but it is so powerful. If you're looking to get into meditation, getting into meditation and practicing being present in the moment, practicing non-judgment, practicing expanding the senses so that we ultimately go beyond the senses, please do check it out. So, new vision. There's a part of your story. So you've been preparing and getting things ready to a fashion in your own way, and now it's time, once this Mercury retrograde ends, which is going to be, I think, not until mid-April or so, where we are going to then be given the opportunity to put the pedal to the metal, to put our wishes, our hopes, our dreams, our inner visions in our heart, to actually bring them down to earth and make something of them, okay? So what is the next part of the vision? And this is not something to get too concrete or solidified on. This is something to daydream into, to feel into in your heart space, to allow your truth in your heart. As always, that is such a theme that we always go back to here, to show you, to guide you, right? To illumine you in what that path is as you journey forward on your travels. Remember last week as well was all about this journey, this travel, and to take what you need in your pack and not too much more. And that can be literally physical things if you're physically moving across the country or to another state or whatever it might be. But it's also the emotional baggage, right? And the mental stuff that we carry around with ourselves all the time. It's saying lighten your load, slow down. Allow yourself to be receptive to the new vision. There's more parts of you that are beginning to illumine and activate through your light body. And as you consciously say thank you to the past and honor it through ceremony and energy letter, whatever it is, to just consciously light a candle about it, whatever it might be, but to allow that door to be closed, it allows again that new energy to come in, these new parts of you to be inspired, to percolate, to activate, and to show you more of who you are. And at the heart of it, this is you being the creator. This is you giving yourself permission to create the life you want. Now, it's very interesting because I know for me, right, in my studies and where I've gone spiritually, which has been all over the place, I'm at a place in probably for a good 6 months, maybe even a year now, where I have relinquished making major decisions for myself and just really giving my life to God, as it was, to a higher power and to love, and just saying like, okay, use me, show me, where would you have me go, what would you have me do, what would you have me say, and to whom, right? That's a prayer from A Course in Miracles that I've been using. I've been actually using that prayer for 4 years, and just allowing myself to let go of how I think I need things to show up, calling in a higher power, calling in my higher self and saying, show me and use me, where would I go, use my gifts and talents and abilities, show me what to do, what to say. And I've been doing that, right? And there's time now. What I'm feeling is that we're coming into a cycle where it's time now to entertain being more hands-on with your co-creatorship with the body of the universe. And whatever that looks like to you, whatever that feels like to you, where, yes, there is a part of us connecting with divine source and saying, use me, show me, where would you have me go, what would you have me do, what would you have me say, and to whom. And at the same time, there is this juicy invitation for us to also, in conjunction with the creator, to be a creator ourselves, to acknowledge the gifts, the talents, the abilities, the divine pictures, the visions within your heart, and the new vision that we're given from our higher self, and say, how might I go about embodying that? What feels good to me? What is the highest way that I can enjoy myself authentically and with integrity, co-create this reality that I know is in my heart? Because it's here for you. It's here for us, and it's ready, and it's within you. And again, this is a part of the reality that says, the completion and the letting go, there's obviously some emotional stuff going on here, some stress, right? But it's all fake. It's not fake, pardon me. It's the past is what it is. And so in a way, it's not real anymore. Though the cellular memory, the emotional mental memory could still be with you. So that's why it's so important to acknowledge it, to clear it, cleanse it, take a bath, do something that will honor and signify the ending of that time and space, so that you can come into your new time and space, receive the new vision. When you receive the new vision, when you create the correct circumstances in yourself to receive those divine mighty downloads of your I am presence, what happens is that you become activated with the divine part of yourself that is an alchemist, that knows how to turn lead into gold, that knows how to turn your vibrational frequency of those less, what I will say, of those denser variations of where you might see yourself go emotionally, mentally, your triggers, your habits, your patterns, the things that keep you in one set mind, right? Perhaps very much linked to who you were in the past versus who you know you could be now. Right now and moving forward. And so there's this beautiful, juicy activation this week. And while we're in this retrograde, it's like, and because there's only one major arcana card, it's like this deep, deep level. And you know what? I'm going to make a separate video about doing subconscious work. I've had some really powerful shamanic, conscious, subconscious, divinely guided work that I've been doing, and I want to share that with you in a separate video. And because all minds are linked, all hearts are linked, I truly feel that this could be speaking to a large amount of you watching. What are those subconscious patterns? What's happening is they're beginning to come to the rise, is what I'm saying. When we meditate, when we create our stillness, when we slow down enough to hear our higher self, connect and commune with us, when we pay attention to the circumstances in our life, when we begin to see things that reoccur that we don't want to reoccur anymore, and we're like, I thought I was over this. I thought I really don't hold any patterns anymore. Well, you know those patterns, if those circumstances, those situations, those occurrences are still happening, then those patterns are even deeper than where you thought they were. They're in the subconscious. They're in the invisible realms. And so, slowing down during this Mercury retrograde, enough to pay attention, again, to be illumined to a new part of your new vision, of your path. And you know what that is. And if you don't know, take one moment, let's be silent here and ask your higher self, what is a part of my new vision for my path now? And I'm sure, I can almost guarantee that you were shown a vision, you heard some words, you had a feeling. Deep inside you, you know. It's just that how often do we make time to listen, to tap in? But when we do, we are given more to know about and more to create from. That's where we get our vitality, our stimulation, our inspiration to be that in the world, to bring it into our third chakra and to create it with the energy of the universe, the energy that we are. Very, very powerful. So the last three cards, again, we have our harmony card, two dolphins diving into the third eye area from the heart center. She is practicing pranayama, she is practicing meditation, she is breathing. And as always, the 1 and the 0 symbolize the oneness, you putting yourself through your meditation practices into a oneness realization sense of being. You allowing yourself to remember, to reclaim your moment-to-moment ability to be present, to take one step at a time, and to allow that step to be absolutely perfect, to take a moment to be present and to savor it, to really be savoring, yes, to really savor the moment. And she's all about that. In fact, she is so savoring the moment that time begins to disappear. And time does not react in the ways that it has in the past or that it used to with you, because your vibration changes and time cannot respond to you in the same way. And in fact, you can collapse time, you can stop time, or time will just be, it's a completely separate entity seemingly. And then when you come back into your body after your meditation, after your spiritual practices, you'll realize it's the perfect time. Oh my, it's the perfect time. It's right now, it's perfect. Perfect timing, perfect timing. The oneness leads us to the 0, and the 0 is that truth in your heart. It is your ability to relax there. Ordinariness, to relax there. You know, and there's this beautiful, beautiful balance, because this individual is in the garden. They're like picking peaches or flowers, and they are just being in the garden. Whether that garden is you going to a park, it's literally your yard, and where you're just being and breathing. So there is this beautiful balance, because I know for many of us, we are in a state of our lives where we are truly just allowing. We are practicing allowing, and it is such a powerful, juicy place to be. That's what I've been doing, like I said earlier, with the just like giving it up to a higher power, to God, to source, to love, to universe, and saying, use me, show me where to go and what to do, what to say, and to whom. Now, this is very interesting, because with ordinariness, this is the balance point between being that creator. So this is showing us that we are a new type of creator. The way that we used to create in the past is not how we're being called to create now. So there is no force of will. There is conscious creation, which is you as your higher self co-creating with the body of the universe from the space in your heart. And that's what makes it alchemy, because we are using love. We are consciously accessing love. We are consciously accessing our higher self and doing the work from that state of higher consciousness, not from a place of need, of greed, of want, but from a space of just knowing that we can heal our lives, that we can co-create realities that we really love and that truly resonate with us, that truly serve us and others. And that's really a big part of what my book, my new book, How to Manifest with the Law of Vibration, is all about. The link is down in my Show More box, so please check it out. There's a link to the Amazon, and you can flick through and check out the first couple chapters. I'd be so grateful if you're interested to support me in that way. It has really served me, and it's this beautiful balance between, you know, with the law of attraction, we've learned that you can have whatever you want, and it's really beautiful and it's a powerful tool. Yet if we're just wanting and needing without our wants and our needs coming from the truth in our heart, if we're just co-creating from a space that is purely mental, then we're going to be missing the truth of us. We're not going to be sustained. We are not going to be nourished. There will be a part of us that will still be wishing and wanting for more because we're missing the mark of really, truly creating from the power within us that is from a state of pure consciousness, and from that state of pure consciousness, alchemating with the energy of the universe to bring it down to earth. So there is a part of us of being ordinary, of feeling, it's like knowing you have superpowers, but also being that person that just tends to the garden, being that happy person that just takes care of the kids or the dogs, being that happy person, gentle person that does the dishes. Meanwhile, you like rip your shirt open and you're like total superhero. It's like you have the power. The power is within you. And the more that you realize that, and the more that you learn to sustain it by going within, by meditating, by not being distracted by outside forces, by keeping your emotional body, the fluids, the waters in your body replenished, hydrated, and keeping yourself divinely attuned to source, to God, to love, to light, whatever your sense of universe or that higher power is, this is going to keep you in tune with being like that. It's like an undercover rock star. It's like an undercover superhero. That's the power that you're being given this week. And it's very subtle because, again, it's on the subconscious level. We are cleaning up the subconscious. Ooh. And we don't even have to do too much here. It just shows that we just get to show up, pay attention, consciously release, acknowledge that caterpillar, acknowledge that larva, acknowledge that little pod that you left, your butterfly left, you took off. Acknowledge what has been in the past. Have those few tears, cry it out, let it be done. Allow yourself to feel supported and be reminded. Remind yourself and be reminded by those that truly love you unconditionally and that have your back to stay present in the moment. Get spiritualized. Do those things for yourself that help you to remember that all is well in all of creation, that remind you to give thanks and to bless everything along your path all the time. And in this way, we're slowing down. We're coming into that present moment where we have access. By releasing the past, we have access to this new vision within us. Your higher self has a new vision it wants to show you. And this vision is cosmically aligned. It is bigger. It is bigger than who you think you are. Yet, at the same time, you have been doing your work, and you know that ordinariness and staying grounded in the truth of who you are is the most important part of your path. And to not get, no matter how big the vision shows you, for you not to get nervous, for you not to get stressed, for you not to become all pumped up in your ego if your vision is very huge, for you to just simply be the alchemist and say, okay, how can I manifest this for the highest good from a space of my heart? I intend to create from my heart space for the highest good using the law of vibration. Divine source, show me, higher self, show me how to manifest this next part of my new vision, this next part of my path, where my butterfly wings want to take me. How can I begin to vibrate as that? How can I begin to energetically shift within myself to manifest those qualities and those frequencies? And a big part of that is by doing nothing. I know, it's so weird, but a part of it is like half action, half paying attention, half being aware, always meditating, always keeping the channels clear, listening in for that new vision information, being that conscious co-creator and being like, bam! And also then, laying in a hammock with your feet up, reading a book, or just taking a nap. It's this beautiful, beautiful balance that creates this spectrum of harmony that brings us back to ourselves, brings us back to aligning. Look at this, light in the heart and light in the third eye. I always teach the heart and the third eye are cousins. They're like brothers and sisters. They're two in one, the same thing. Whenever you love yourself more, whenever you experience love in your life, you see love, you visualize love, you're in the presence of love, your heart turns on. Your heart chakra begins to open and expand and radiate. And on your physical body, you begin to experience serotonin and dopamine and all these really feel-good, juicy chemicals. And it's also stimulating the third eye. Anytime you get a heart on right? Where you feel your heart opening, you practice more and more self-love, self-acceptance, non-judgment in the world around you. That third eye begins to vibrate and activate too. And your heart holds your truth of you. Your heart holds the truth of you. Those visions, those new visions, those patterns, those pathways that are now going to be illuminated this week while we're relaxing and retreating to a fashion in this Mercury retrograde, while all these other juices get stirred up and activated too. Again, this beautiful balance of relaxing and activating. Relaxing and activating. What was I going to say? Yes, so in another book I'm writing, there is the blueprint of your truth, the vision of who you truly are, is not only in your heart and in your third eye, like a roadmap, like a blueprint, but it's in the very base of your spine, where your kundalini is locked. And the more that we awaken our spiritual selves, the more that those aspects aligned at the base, the root of you, the base of your spine, your heart center, and your third eye begin to talk to each other. Bloop, bloop, begin to activate. And when that line becomes calibrated, look out, look out. The real you, more of you, begins to show up. And when more of you begins to show up, the whole world changes in your honor. It begins to bow to you in greater and greater and greater ways. And you know what? Doing less is more. Doing less is more. So this week, doing less is more. Placing your energy in the correct ways that will help to serve you, align your energies appropriately, so that you can indeed receive your downloads of this new vision, and perhaps journal them, paint them, draw them, doodle about them, and become, gently calibrated through your energy work, through your meditations, through your anything that you're doing where you're applying your consciousness and your willpower, your conscious willpower in a positive, harmonious way that serves your true path. It is only going to create more and more circumstances for you to celebrate, for you to feel truly connected to why you're here on the planet, to your purpose and your calling. Very, very, very powerful. Wow. I'm so very grateful, as always, for you stopping by, for you subscribing. Hit the thumbs up button if you appreciate my messages. I'm so grateful. Feel free to share and comment. I look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste with so much love. Blessings.